All right, good morning, everyone. We'll get going here. All right. The U.S. markets kind of traded sideways, mostly slightly above flatline, I think, for the bulk of the day, even after some bad economic data. And then we had quite a reasonable pullback at the end. Percentage-wise, it was nothing too big, but considering it happened over the last hour and a half of the day, makes it a little bit more significant. I think really the reason for the pullback was that San Francisco President John Williams came out also with some dovish comments saying that the bond purchase program may be reduced or even completely halted by the end of the year. And, we will continue to see appreciative growth in the labor market. So I don't even think that I can't imagine that was enough to really be the catalyst. Not that that's anything new, but it did kind of happen. The pullback did happen around the same time that he made those comments, so something to take note of nonetheless. Asian markets traded pretty well, even on the back of us finally getting a little bit of a pullback there, pushing to new recent highs out of Japan. Australia traded a little bit better, with some of the basic materials and resource stocks trading a little bit better. A nice bump up in bulletins overnight, as well as some of the other resource stocks. But no real specific reason I think that those had outperformance that I can find. So something to take note of for today. And then we also have today in terms of corporate action, we've really got nothing. We've got the JSE that's going ex-div on Monday of 2 Rand 50. We've got LBH that came out with a quarter 3 operational update this morning, saying long-term insurance index new business up by 17%. Net customer cash inflows of 6 billion Rand. The previous number was 5 billion. And total group assets under management increased to 549 billion from 528 billion last quarter. So I think that's a pretty good jump up quarter to quarter. Another note, CFR in Switzerland's price target was raised to 100 Swiss francs overnight by Bank of America Merrill Lynch. I think the reason why I think that is significant is because B of A Merrill has been one of the biggest market movers as of recently. So it's something to watch out for today. We also had today on the data front, we had Japanese machine orders that were better than expected. You can see all the data is really starting to turn to the upside there after since they've really started to get a hold of the currency. And then we've got University of Michigan confidence numbers, and then we've got leading indicators out of the U.S. All right, let's jump into the maps. Okay, first thing I want to have a look at here is actually the U.S. dollars are. I want to go back a little bit. I mean, you can see here quite clearly we have broken out on the Rand, both through a trend line and through lateral resistance in terms of a new high. So I think all things are screaming bearishness for the Rand. This is all happening while at the same time markets are pushing new highs, which really makes it extremely bearish for the Rand. And you're just seeing globally, it's not just the Rand. You look at the Aussie dollar, which also hit recent new multi-year lows this morning, and every other commodity currency on the block really starting to give it up, obviously because commodity weakness, and people aren't bullish that that's going to turn anytime soon. That trend, if you look there, that trend has been going all the way back, sort of for the last 2.5-3 years, and it's been so steady. We really kind of maybe have one little minor blip on the screen where we attempted to make a breakthrough. The Rand attempted to make a breakthrough down around 840, 850, and we just haven't been able to hold it up. So from the bottom of this move, I really think, I mean, we were looking at this yesterday, from the bottom of this, where we tested here around 890, you can probably even put 880. We could really be looking at significant downside target from here on the rand. I don't even want to get into where the target's going to be, but significantly lower than this. All right, Aussie, we showed this yesterday and how we were really testing all-time highs, or closed the previous day right at all-time highs. Obviously, we had a big rip up yesterday. We're seeing a continuation of that this morning. It's incredible how we managed to rally. This rally here, I mean, was so steep, it's so vicious. It really happened in about 20 trading days, and that's about the last 20 days, 22 days or so on the Aussie is about 12%. So we are probably about as far away from so the 20-day and the moving average as we've been in quite a long time. So something to keep an eye on. We obviously hugely overbought in the short term, but the market really feels squeezish. So be very careful, trying to fight this market. Senlum, obviously, we really broke out of this flag pattern before, but also, like we said, making new highs, taking out new highs as of yesterday's session. I mean, the target on this thing obviously significantly higher. That's the real amazing thing, is you keep looking at targets on some of these breakouts that are just happening now, and they've got to be so significantly higher. It's just it's hard to imagine that they're going to get there, before they make a real pullback. Mutual as well. I'll show Mutual just on kind of on a 30-day. We that is not what it looked like when I was looking at it earlier. Let's just ignore that one. That's not what I was looking to show. I think I had part of it maybe ripped out of it. So let's jump forward to the next one. Kumba I'll show here quickly. Kumba is really, along with it's been one of the better performers in the commodity sector and been able to really hold up, across the resources. I would say it's one of the bigger outperformers. Yesterday, this chart's starting to move out sideways now, and I think if we can really get a little bit of a one red candle here to push below this little wedge pattern here, Kumba could start to resume this downtrend that we got into recently. So something to keep an eye on. Not saying that it's an outright short, but if you see us starting to move below that little wedge, I think we can maybe get short of that. We'll have a look at Grindrod, another stock, same exact pattern. Continuation pattern here, making all-time highs. I mean, obviously we broke out of this flag a while back, but we're punching through all-time highs as of yesterday. We could be looking at a target, another $2.50. I mean, it could be miles from here. MTN, same sort of pattern. All of a sudden, it was starting to look quite bearish before. Now really starting to almost look like a continuation pattern in itself. You can see there, obviously, we broke to new highs. Above on a close above 180, about 184.50 as of yesterday. Where these things are going to stop, who knows? But it's getting really getting really difficult to fight this tape. We're looking at this stock that's moved up $10-12 in 3 or 4 sessions. So obviously they're overbought, but just be very careful not to get caught up in the squeeze. And then the last one I'm going to show is RMH, maybe one that's probably I should say a little bit more of an opportunity potentially, in terms of doesn't look so ridiculously overbought that maybe we can still jump into it. We can maybe look at this chart here and how we starting to just push above trendline resistance there. And what I like about this, the Rudder was showing me this earlier, and we were talking about how this is consolidating right here under the trend line, and then now we make this nice push through. It could have a significantly higher target, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about a Rand 50 in the near term. So keep an eye on RMH. Maybe it's one of the ones that hasn't really had a huge rip roar to the upside yet. Might be a bit of an opportunity in the next few sessions. And that's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot.